Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So today's topic would be Shat Kal. Let's dig into this. What is Shat Kal? The word Shat Kal itself suggests that Shat meaning 6 and Kal means stages of the diseases. Thus, this Shat Kal mainly discuss about the pathogenesis of the disease formation in 6 steps. Now, what does it mean? It means the stages of disease formation or the pathogenesis of disease formation in Ayurvedic point of view. It contains 6 stages which can be described as follows. Acharya Sushruta in his Shutrastan have written in the verse like Sanchaya cha Prakopa cha Prasara Sthana samshrayam Vyakti Bheda cha yo Vyakti doshanam sa bhabet vishag. What does this verse means? This verse actually tells us the 6 stages of disease or the Shat Kal or the 6 stages of disease formation. Those are first Sanchaya, then Prakop, Prasar, Sthana samshraya, Vyakti and Bhed. Now what does they mean individually? Well, Sanchaya means accumulation, means the doshas are accumulating at a site. Prakop means aggravating, they get swollen and starts to aggravate. Pressure means moving from one place to another. Sthana samshraya means settling down at a particular site, and Vyakt means where the disease is completely manifested or the disease takes its full-fledged form, disease manifestation. And then Bhed stage, which is nothing but the differentiation stage. Let's study each of these 6 stages in details. First, we have the Sanchaya. It means accumulation. Here the dosh gets or starts to accumulate in its own site. It's characterized by a vague or ill-defined symptomatology. What does this mean? Means under certain factors or nidhanas, the doshas tends to get not aggravated, I would say. Aggravated would be the second stage. The doshas tends to get accumulated at a particular site. But however, the important thing is that the dosha in this stage, though it starts to accumulate, but it stays in its own place. And this stage is very important stage because in this stage itself, the disease treatment or the treatment protocols should be initiated immediately in order to prevent the disease from going into the later 5 stages or to let the disease take its full-fledged form. This Sanchaya stage is very much essential to prevent the disease. Thus, we can also understand it like the fact, for example, a dosha, if it accumulates in the hand, it only accumulates in the hand, but it does not move into other places such as head or legs or any other site. Then the symptomatology or the signs of the stage according to the doshas are Vat dosh, Pit dosh and Kapha dosh. The individual sign and symptom are the Vat dosh shows Stabda Purana and Koshtha Tod. Now, Stabda Purana means the gurgling noise in the abdomen, and Koshtha Toda means prickling pain in the abdomen. Pitta dosha will show Pitta Bhashala and Manda Ushnata, means yellowishness, and Manda Ushnata means reduced or diminished temperature. Kapha dosh will be showing Anganam Gauravam and Alasya. Anganam Gauravam would be the heaviness of the body, and Alasya means lassitude or laziness. Then come the next stage, that is the Prakopa. Now, here the doshas, if not controlled in the first stage, undergoes more aggravation. As a result, they get swollen and accumulated in its own site. What's actually happened is that in the Chai stage, if the diseases are not prevented or proper steps have not been taken to control it, then the doshas gets more swollen or more accumulated and finally proceeds to the next stage, that is the Prakopa. And this stage is also very important to prevent the disease, as these are the early stages. Specific signs and symptoms are shown or which are indicative of this stage. These are again according to the dosh. Vat dosh will be showing koshtatod and sancharan, that is the prickling pain and movement all over the body. Pitta dosh, the symptom would be pipasha and paridaha, that is the thirst and burning sensation. And Kapha dosh will be showing the anna dvesh and hridaya utklesh. Anna dvesh means aversion towards food, and hridaya utklesh means heaviness in the cardiac region. Worth mentioning that in this stage also the doshas get swollen but tends to remain in its own state rather than moving into other stages. Next, we have the pressure stage. Now, this stage is important because if the doshas which are not previously yet controlled, they get even further aggravated and gets displaced. This is important from their own side and starts moving all over the body. We can understand like if the Sanchaya and the Prakopa stage are not being controlled, the proper therapeutic measures have not been taken, then the doshas will get more aggravated, as a result of which they will leave its own side and will move or start to move all over the body. Again, it has the following symptomatology as per the doshas. Vat dosh will be showing Vimarga Gaman and Atop. Vimarga Gaman means moving into the way other than its natural pathway, and Atop means pain or pricking pain. And Pitta dosh will be showing Osh, Chosh, Paridaha and Dhumya, that is burning sensation, feeling of fumigation. And Kapha dosh will be showing symptoms of Arochak, Avipak, Angashad and Sharti, that is anorexia, indigestion, pain in the body and nausea. Next stage is the Sthana samshraya stage. Now, this stage is very important. Why? If the doshas are not controlled yet, that is, if the dosha, after reaching the prasara stage also, the doshas, if not controlled, then the dosha which was moving all over the body starts to settle at site other than its own native site. What actually happens, as we have just seen that in the prasara stage, the doshas have already started to move throughout the body. So now what it does, the word sthana samshraya means settling down at a place. So exactly what happens in this stage, the dosha which is moving in the body gets settled at a site which is not natural or not native to it or not in its original site. Thus, since it is settling in another site, as we already know that Kapha dosh have their predominancy over the chest region, and Pitta dosh have the predominancy or are naturally found in the Amasya Pakwasha region, and Vat dosh are predominantly found or is native to the region below the umbilicus. Now actually what happens if Vat moves into the region of Kapha, or if Kapha moves into the region of Vat, and vice versa, and so the combination, this Vat or the Kapha dosh which will be moving into the other dosha side will not be native, and as a result that will not be a natural habitat, and as a result it will be causing various diseases. So that's what here happens. Here as the doshas get settled in other sites, and by implication of dosha dushya samurchana, which is a characteristic feature of this stage. What is dosha dushya samurchana? For example, the Vat dosh, which is generally present below the umbilical region, moves to a place above the chest region. So in the chest, above the chest region, there is predominancy of Kapha. But however, Vat have settled somehow at a site over the chest region. As a result of it, the dosh dushya samurchana means the Vat dosh here is vitiating or polluting the Kapha dosh, and there is interaction between the Vat and Kapha dosh, and so there is the appearance of Purva Roop or prodromal symptoms, which is the characteristic features of this stage. This is very important to know because this Purva Roop stage is one of the magical point of Ayurveda. So this dosha dushya samurchana, which is principally the characteristic feature of Sthana samshraya, 'Sthana-samshraya' stage, leads to the Purva Roop or the prodromal symptoms. Next, we have the Shat stage. Now, this stage is very important. Why? If the doshas are not controlled yet, that is, if the doshas are not controlled, then the doshas which is moving in the body starts to settle at site other than its own native site. So exactly what happens, the Vat dosh which is moving in the body gets settled at a site which is not natural or not native to it or not in its original site. Thus, since it is settling in another site, the Dosha which is moving in the body gets settled at a site which is not natural or not native to it or not in its original site. Let's take the example. If the doshas settles in Udara and abdomen, or there will be the manifestation of Visuchik, Vilambika, Rasasesh, Ajirna, etc. If dosh settles in Basti, there will be manifestation of Mutra Kircha, Mutra Ghat, Madhumeha, etc. And similarly, it goes on. For example, if the dosha gets settled in Mamsha or Shonita, it will gives rise to Kushtha. Thus, in summary, we can say that the dosha, which is not native to a particular site, if it settles, then it pollutes the native dosha of that site, and as a result, certain signs and symptoms are manifested, which is known as the purvarup or prodromal symptom, or the signs before the actual onset of the disease, and it happens in the Sthana samshraya stage. Next, we have the Vyakti avastha. Vyakti avastha means Vyakt, or the ones which is expressed in full-fledged form. What happens here is, if the doshas are not yet controlled, it aggravates even more, and by implication of dosha dushya samurchana, there is the proper manifestation of the vyadhi or disease with all of its symptoms, that is the roop, which is the characteristic feature of this stage. Earlier, the Purva Roop was the characteristic feature of Sthana Samshraya by Dosha Dusha Shamurchana, and now in the Vyakti stage, if the doshas are still not being controlled or proper therapeutic measures have not been taken or not are effective, then the doshas gets even further aggravated and ultimately leads to the next stage, which is the Vyakti Avastha. Means the doshas here takes the Vyakta Avastha or Vyakt state, or there is the full-fledged manifestation of the disease along with the proper manifestation with all its symptoms, which is the roop, and this stage indicates the sheer presence of the disease. It is the roop or the symptom is mainly of two types: Samanya Roop and Vishesh Roop. Samanya Roop means the symptoms which are in general in nature, and Vishesh Roop means the symptom which are particularly characteristic feature of that disease, or which is principally an indicative feature of that disease. Example, in case of Jwar, increase of movement of Vat all over the body. This is the Samanya Roop. But however, the Vishesh Roop is, in case of Jwar, Ushmadhikya is the Vishesh Lakshan. Now actually what happens in Jwar, there is excessive movement of Vat. So this becomes the Samanya Roop, and then Jwar means fever. As a result, there will be increase in temperature, which is the specific characteristics of Jwar. So this is what we mean by Samanya and Vishesh Roop or symptomatology. Next, we have the Bhed stage. Bhed means differentiation. Here, the doshas undergo differentiation if not controlled into other types. Up to the Vyakt stage, if the doshas are still not controlled here, then they finally aggravates even the more and the most, and it differentiates, means it transforms into other types or gives rise to other diseases. It is on this stage that the diseases here becomes subacute, chronic or incurable, because the doshas have been remained aggravated or swollen for so long time that they have already created much problems, as a result of which they become subacute, chronic or incurable. Here, the disease acts as a predisposing factors for the formation of other disease. Now actually this concept is, the disease acts as a predisposing factors for the formation of other disease. This is also known as Nidan Orthokari Rog. We will be studying this in the second prof in the Rog Nidan concept. But just as in order to know the Bhed stage, just know this thing that the diseases in the Bhed stage, if not controlled, then the diseases which have already occurred will give rise to other diseases by itself. How? Let's take the example. When a shot of Vidhradi burst, it manifests the characteristic features of Vran. Means when a swelling of an abscess bursts, it manifests the characteristic features of Vran, which means ulcer. And how can we understand this stage by this example? Let's say this is a Shot and it has abscess or pus inside it. If it bursts wide open, it will lead to the formation of ulcers, which is Vran. Thus, here Shot is giving rise to Vran. So this is what we mean by Bhed stage. Or we can understand it with another example like Jwar eventually gives rise to Rakta Pitta owing to its heat. Why? Because in Jwara what happens is that the temperature remains high and only it is due to the high temperature it gives rise to Rakta Pitta or the bleeding disorders. So we can see that the Jwar is directly involved in giving rise to Rakta Pitta. So Jwar is manifesting itself into differentiating into another disease. So this is what happens exactly in the Bhed stage. Summarizing it all, Shat Kriyakal is very important in understanding the disease formation because this stage will tell us that the disease is whether subacute, chronic or incurable or curable or not, and in the what stage the disease is present. If the disease is generally in the Bhed stage, then it becomes very difficult to cure or incurable, and the lesser the time or in the initial stages, that is in the Sanchaya or Prakopa avastha, if the diseases are controlled, then the patient will be arogya. So this concept is very important in practical view as well. If the proper steps are not taken, there will be the successive advancement from Sanchaya to Prakopa, then to Prasara, then to Stana, samshraya, Vyakta and Bheda. So, and Sanchaya means accumulating, Prakopa aggravating, pressure means moving to different side, Stana samshraya means settling at a side other than its own place, Vyakta means Vyakta avastha disease manifestation with proper symptoms, and Bhed means differentiation. Thus, it gives us an idea about the stage of the disease and about its curability or incurability. That is why it is known as the Kriya Kal or the Shat Kriya Kal, because it has 6 stages. So 6 stages of diseases and has been principally explained by Sushruta. Thank you.